So you can do anything you want, and everyone's got passion about their own things. For me, it's just importing and drop shipping, but that's just me, you know. I know other people who do used items. Someone in Chicago who's got a warehouse and 12 storage units full of stuff, and him and his wife just do deceased estates. But they're experts. So if I look at a picture and they go, oh, that's drawn by whoever. They look at gold and silver and say it's X amount of carats. I don't know. I know squat about that stuff. It doesn't interest me at all. So, but they're really good at it. So if you're good at that, then maybe that's your niche.
Do they get return pallets as well? Some people they get those Amazon return pallets.
No. All they do is just focus on deceased estates, and they get most of their inventory for free. Because the people, the beneficiaries, they do deals with the real estate agents, and they send all their stuff and sell. So they've got a great business going. All right, so now flipping is, for those who've been following the story, I started off with a boat, an old boat, which cost us, I think it was $800, and I've been just flipping it. And this has taken a few years, and this is the latest one we've got now. And that's and it's just by buying low, selling high. And I was going to do it for my next book, but will I ever publish that book? I don't know. It's taken several years to get this far. But it's a good way of doing it. It's an asset gain strategy. It's not a cash flow strategy, unless you cash out, but it's a good way of increasing your assets. Okay, so with flipping, the great thing with flipping is you buy the stuff on Gumtree, which is owned by eBay. You do all your negotiation via SMS, so you can hide behind your keyboard and do all your negotiation. Then you go out there and pick the stuff up. You can also buy on Facebook Marketplaces. Facebook Marketplaces is reasonably new. It used to be Facebook Buy Swap Sell. So like in Melbourne, for instance, there's a zillion Facebook Buy Swap Sell groups all around the place where people sell stuff, and there's a lot of stuff on there. And you can buy the stuff on there quite cheap because it's only got a much smaller audience. And you can sell it on places like eBay worldwide, where you've got a much bigger audience, and you can make money. So when you buy things like this, you sell them on eBay, Gumtree, Facebook, and specialist sites. So like selling a boat like that, you can put it on a specialist site. So Facebook Marketplace, if you go to facebook.com, and it's just there, right there, Marketplace. All you got to do is facebook.com Marketplace. It's amazing the amount of stuff that you'll find on there to buy. And you can also sell it. Is anyone using Marketplaces? Yeah. How do you find it?
I like it because there's no fees attached to it.
It's right.
Yeah,
there's no fees.
That's it. Yeah.
It does suck a lot of time. You get a lot of people saying, "Is it available?" Yes. Yes, it's and so you'll get 10 "is it availables" before anyone actually asks you a question. So, but it's a great platform to know about, and as it's free. So used products. Everything in life has got pros and cons, including used products. Pros, you can get them for free and low cost. You can go to places like, council cleanups where everyone puts the stuff on the streets. I know people that are making well in excess of $1,000 a week doing that. They drive around on the weekends, pick up all the stuff on the side of the roads and sell it off. And they make over $1,000. But if you've got a family, you've got kids, it takes a big chunk of your weekend. It's a great way to make some quick cash. Profits you can use for new items. You can purchase poorly listed items on eBay and Gumtree and Facebook Marketplaces and everywhere else. The cons are limited stock. So when you get something second hand, normally you get one. So you've got to photograph it once, sell it, and then all that work's done. So you've got to photograph it and then write the ad copy, and then all that work's gone out of the window. Whereas with a new item, you just keep selling it over and over and over again. That's why I'm a big fan of new items. It takes time to acquire stock, where it doesn't with overseas stuff. You can set up a purchasing office in, say, the Philippines and get someone there $1 to $2 an hour, and they can do it all for you. So you need to photograph and write a copy for every single item and sell it only once. It's harder to automate, but not impossible. Like that, my friend in Chicago, he takes a trailer load he's got listers all around Chicago. He takes a trailer load round to their houses and dumps it there, and they list it for him. So, sources for used products: council cleanups, Gumtree, garage sales, bundling. I mentioned bundling. Charity gift shops. Just don't tell them you're going to sell it on eBay; they won't like you. Deceased estate, the 3 Ds: deceased, divorce, and downsizing. Gumtree, I've got that twice. Police auctions, car, incorrectly listed items. And also, the billboards at shopping centres. You can get some great bargains there as well. They put the bill outside like Coles and Woolies and stuff. You can SMS and do some great deals there. Like when you go to shopping centres, often a big billboard with people selling stuff.
Bulletin board sort of thing.
Yeah, bulletin board, that's the right word.
Little parts on.
Yeah. So for anyone who watches American Pickers, this is what they hand out. And we can do all the same stuff, just obviously not guns, but pretty much everything else. So any questions on used items? All good? Okay, so which products to sell? Let's start with the don'ts. Our criteria is no guessing. Everything has to be rock bottom proven. If you're going to use virtual assistants, like I said before, if they can guess it, there's a 50% chance or greater than 50% chance they'll screw it up, so absolutely no guessing. Don't sell a product with high turnover and low profit unless you want to do that. So there's two ways of building a business. You can either have items that sell vast amounts of them at very low margins, like iPhone accessories, or you can sell products that are more expensive. They don't sell as many times per hour, but they make much higher margins. I'm a big fan of higher margins. It's your call what you want to do. Don't sell products which the Chinese can ship cheaper, and the sixth deal with China means that they can ship things way cheaper than you and me. If it's an item under 2 centimetres thick and it weighs less than 500 grams, they can ship it way cheaper. For instance, if I post this to myself, it'll cost me $7.60. Post it from Shenzhen in China, around $1.50 to $1.60 back to Australia. So the moral of the story is, don't sell anything that's under 2 centimetres thick and weighs less than 500 grams, if you import. Because we cannot compete. And don't sell anything that makes less than $10 profit for an imported product. But again, this is our rules, you come up with your own. It makes less than 20 bucks for a used product. And a lot of people say, you know what, Neil, what's the best niche to get into? Well, I don't like niches, I like to sell niches off, because we like doing seller research. So when we go through a seller and we see, okay, they're making one product, I know, a pet blanket. Oh, I don't sell pet blankets, doesn't fit my niche. I can see this item makes lots of money, but it's not my niche, so therefore I can't sell it. Okay, so what's the next thing? Oh, the next thing is a baby something. Oh, that's not my niche either, so I can't sell that. So I don't like doing that, but if you're an expert about a particular niche, stay with it. You know, if you know a lot about car parts, or you know a lot about, you know, furniture, if that's something you're passionate, you know a lot about, you've got access to this stuff, then maybe you want to stay with that. If you don't lock yourself in. And also category. Why lock yourself into a category? Unless you're an expert or you want to be in that particular category. Non-seasonal. So don't sell, you know, be very careful about selling things like Easter bunnies, Christmas lights, you know, iPhone 10 cases, all that kind of stuff, because it's seasonal. But if you're drop shipping, of course, you can list items. If they don't sell, you're not out of pocket, because you only buy them from the supplier after you've sold them and after you've been paid. So drop shipping and importing, we have two totally different rules. No trends or fads are your mobile phone accessories unless you're drop shipping again. And eBay today is over 90% of all items are brand new. So the first item that ever got sold on eBay was listed by the founder, which is a guy called Pierre Almeida, and it was a broken laser pointer, like this. It was broken, and that was the first item that ever got sold. It was a used item. Now, around 90% of items are all brand new, so it's changed a lot. So the most popular strategy is the BSS strategy, but it has the most competition. When you find the top selling items, they have the most competition, they have the lowest margins normally on average, and they've got the highest MOQ. You've got to order the most of them to try and make $1. And that's the bit people don't get. It's like people say, oh, you know, I really should I start in Australia or America for building an eBay or Amazon business? Because America's got much more buyers. Yeah, but what about the other side of the equation? It's got a lot more sellers. It's the same deal. So product selection, narrow it down. New items used, purchase locally from retailers, purchase locally from wholesalers, import, picking, flipping, or drop shipping, and you can spot trends and fads, whatever your call. But everyone's different, it's your call what you want to do. So here's some links about what's hot. I'm not going to go into these, but if you do want to focus on what the hottest items are, here's all the links to find them. And this will show you all the hottest items, what's in demand, what's hot. And there's another one, and you can also use one called Watch Count, which shows you the most watched items on any place. And actually, there's a slide, so I'll leave that. There's a slide coming up for Watch Count. One place that we do, we look at websites that disclose their top products, like Kmart. We've got a lot of products out of Kmart because Kmart shows you their top products, most popular. Now that's pretty amazing because most businesses don't declare this information. If you want to open up a pizza shop, you can't go and ask the local pizza guy down the road, what's your top selling pizza? They won't tell you. Kmart will tell you what the top selling products are in any category. So there's many sites like this. The world's changing very quickly, and then we call this a dynamic website. And more companies are putting dynamic websites. They show you the top items. So this is going a little bit different to what everyone else is doing. And here's watch count. So watch count shows you any category in all countries in eBay, the 37 different countries, the most watched items. And there's a huge correlation between the items that get the most watches and the most sales. So if an item's got a lot of watches, you can guarantee it's one of the top selling items. And this is free, watchcount.com. Okay, so you can also use places like Pinterest. Will show you, if you put in something like, I put in heart rate monitor, it shows you which ones are getting the most pins. In this case, this particular Garmin one. So that's what's hot. So again, you're looking somewhere else to pull your data. So Pinterest, you can put in your search keywords. So I put in, hot heart rate monitor reviews, best heart rate monitor 2019, etc. And then you can also do the same in Google. So Google has this tool called Google Ad Planner, which is also known as the Google Keyword Tool. It's free, and you can put in there exactly the same things, hot, blah, 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 and it'll come back and show you what the hottest words are. Same with like merchant words as well. Merchantwords.com will do the same thing. So Google Ad Planner is free. You can get the most popular related keyword ideas, use best and review. So you put in best X, best heart rate monitor, X heart rate monitor reviews, and it'll show you all the extra keywords that people are putting in. So Merchant Words, by the way, now works in Australia, and you can use this with Amazon. There's not many apps, not many tools that work with Amazon. Merchant Word is one of them. Oh, it's when I say work with Amazon, there's not many tools that work with Amazon Australia. Google Trends, if you're wondering, well, what's that product doing? Is it, is it going up? Is it going down? Because there's a term in marketing that, the bigger the party, the bigger the hangover. When something takes off, like, let's say an iPhone 7, if this is on a trend, you'd see the iPhone 7 going up, then of course the iPhone 10 comes out and it plummets down again. So if you want to see what anything's doing, there it is. Google Trends, it's free. So new products, pros and cons, unlimited stock. You can keep selling the same thing over and over and over and over again. There's so many items out there. You photograph it once, write the ad copy once, and keep selling it. Around 90% of items are brand new on eBay, so big demand. And the cons are the risk of purchasing an item and they don't sell. Like someone here asked me about, dropship items if it doesn't sell. Now, with importing, we only import items that have sold a minimum 15 times per month for a minimum of 90 days. Because then we've got some history. With dropshipping, if it doesn't sell, it doesn't in the first place. But if you want to stop yourself from sound. Yeah, sorry. So, okay, so risk of it, they don't sell. Okay, so the product criteria for importing is this. Import products that have a minimum of 35% profit after all expenses. Must 15 sales per month for the last 90 days. Sell price greater than $20. Minimum profit per sale, $10. And no brand names. Now, most of us know about if you import something from China, you can be extremely careful about it if it's got a brand name on it, because there's almost, there's not 100% chance, but we call it 100% chance it's a rip-off, because they rip off everything. If you find these, Logitech PowerPoint presenting tools in there, and they're substantially cheaper than market price, you can pretty much guarantee it's a rip-off. So be very, very careful about importing anything with a brand name from China unless you do a lot of due diligence. We want minimum 90 days proven history, no trends, no fads. Okay, so drop shipping. Any questions on that, by the way, for importing before we do drop shipping? Oh, good. Yep.
Yeah, you said before, like, the minimum profit you do is $10.
Yes.
Then, like, what about if you're sourcing locally, not drop shipping, just sourcing products locally? Would you still work on that same period?
Yes, exactly the same. All right, any other questions on importing? Good. Okay. All right. So drop shipping. So like I mentioned before, drop shipping is when you list items, you get paid, and then you buy the product, and the supplier ships the product direct to your customer. Dropshipping was always the holy grail. It was always like, you know, the kind of ultimate business because you don't need capital. You can list 100, 1,000, 10,000 items. So it was always the holy grail. But the biggest reason I only got involved with dropshipping 4 or 5 years ago. I wouldn't go near with a barge pole, but simply because we had the risk, that someone else brought up tonight, about overselling items. And that means that you list the item, it sells, and then your suppliers run out of stock. Now you're in trouble. Now today, though, what's changed today is we can buy from sites that have dynamic websites which show if the items are in stock. And then we can set up methodologies to continually check that website. We can use VAs to do it, or we can use software to do it, which are automatic. And if it runs out of stock, your listings go to zero. So that was the big game changer, which I'm going to go through in a minute. So what is dropshipping? It's virtual inventories. It's known in the industry as virtual inventories. So a virtual inventory is like a virtual assistant using someone else's inventory instead of your own. So dropshipping, you don't need any capital, which is obviously a very big barrier for a lot of people getting into the online world. They couldn't do it because they didn't have the cash flow to run it. When we started off, you know, I had so many creative ways of funding things, you know, whether it was credit cards, getting cash advances, all sorts of stuff as we grew, trying to liberate cash to build a business. You can build dropshipping business in 37 different countries. It's obviously a lot easier though in the English-speaking ones than the foreign ones, unless you speak another language. You get paid first, unlimited products to list. More and more suppliers every day are using dynamic websites all over the world. So we've got more and more suppliers opening up every day that we can use. Very easy to outsource inventory checking. Yes? So hand out the back there.
About couriers and authority to leave.
Couriers and authority to leave. We don't. We always tick the box that says you must have a signature. It's too dangerous otherwise. So, and you can sell off the niche businesses all over the planet. Like I said, we've done it many times in Australia, the US, UK, Canada, Ireland, Spain. You can do the same. So what's changed with dropshipping?
Good profit margin with the dropshipping though, with the items that you supply.
Profit's always a big thing because a lot of people say, yeah, but there's more profit with importing. Well, not if you run out of money.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of people say, well, yeah, well, the margins are higher with importing. Well, as a general, they are, but you're limited by how much cash you've got.
Yeah.
If you can't import any more products, that's it. Your business is, you know, you've hit the glass ceiling. You can't go any higher. But with dropshipping, even though the margins are lower, you just list more items.
Yeah.
So you're not capped.
Yeah.
So this is the game changer. More suppliers using dynamic websites where we can automatically check if items are in stock. Automatic supply inventory checking. They'll automatically check your supplier's inventory and make your listings go to zero. All automatic. So pros and cons are going with everything. Positive cash flow. You get started straight away tonight. As soon as you've got a template and a logo, I'm going to get into that tonight, you can get going straight away. Unlimited products available. There's no packing, so you no longer have to pack items. Anyone's done that long enough knows that's a big pain. No driving to the warehouse. You don't have to employ any staff in Australia. I should have that. That's such a huge one. So you don't have to employ any staff, which is a minefield of problems when you do that. Easy to automate. You can run it from literally anywhere on the planet. You can run it right from your home. You can run it from a cruise ship. You can run it from a tent. Doesn't matter where you are on the planet. You can run a dropship business. You can sell it in 37 different countries. Now, cons are requires inventory checking 7 days a week. You must have in place. If you list one item on eBay right now that you're dropshipping, you must have something in place to make sure that item doesn't run out of stock. If it does, you must make your listing go to zero. As I said, you can fully automate this. Requires ordering 7 days a week. So if you sell an item tonight, you really want to get it ordered tonight. So you can set up on your phone goes to ching, and you get it ordered. And then you get it automated by a VA who does it all for you. They do all your purchasing for you. It's got lower margins as a general rule, but like I said, you can just list more items. So step one, I'm just going to touch on a little bit of dropshipping tonight. I'm not going to go right in depth of it because I'll spend the whole night. So step one, column A. For those who've done the dropshipping, there's 4 columns. I'm just going to go into column A tonight, or column A and column B, that's it. We do this column A keywords, and the reason why is because it makes you different. Because one of the worst things you can do with dropshipping or importing is go and get a public domain list